Alright class, settle down, settle down. We have a big day ahead of us. Let me introduce myself. My name is Brett. You can call me Mr. Brett, Mr. B, or really any name that makes you happy. I don't really care. You guys are in for a big show today. Let me tell you why. Today's lesson is on, you guessed it,
minimizing mass wasting hazards.
Before we get into how to minimize mass wasting hazards though, I figured it would be beneficial to first establish what mass wasting is and what causes it. So at this point you may be asking yourself, Mr. B, coolest, most smartest teacher in the world, what is mass wasting? Or you could be like,
does this guy think I'm a Dumbo or something? I've already seen it in the assignments. I've already read about it in the textbook. I know everything there is to know about mass wasting. I've been working here for 4 years on my graduate degree.
So for those of you who are still out of the loop, I'm going to give you a hint. And for those of you who are in the loop, keep on being fruity. Here's the hint.
In the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought.
Hopefully that helped. Did you catch it? Did you notice that in the song? Still no? It's okay. I'll show you a montage here to give you a better visual representation instead of audio. Pretty intense, huh? Now, you might have figured out what mass wasting is. It's basically landslides, but the exact definition is the geomorphic process by which soil, sand, regolith, and rock move downslope. Now, if you were paying attention, you might have caught a word in there that you haven't heard of. Regolith? No, not Goliath. Regolith is simply put the loose soil and rock layer laying on top of bedrock. By the way, mass wasting can also be referred to as mass movement. The main thing to remember though with mass wasting is that gravity is going to be your key player. You've heard money makes the world go round. Well, gravity makes the dirt go down. Pretty good, right? Anyway, gravity is going to be your driving force for every single type of mass movement. Alright, before I get into the types, it's best to know how geologists actually distinguish between said types. They use a combination of two factors. One is the composition of the moving material, so what it's made of, and then the other factor is the rate of the movement, the velocity. Now, I know earlier I said mass wasting is just landslides, but I may have oversimplified to make it easier to understand at the beginning. Sorry about that. This is just one of the many types of mass wasting. Mass wasting comes in a wide array. You see, Mother Earth doesn't like to waste material in just one type of way. She needs a little excitement, so she uses many types to dispose of the unwanted baggage. She may use landslides, as I mentioned before, earth flows, mud and debris flows, rock falls, avalanches, rock topple, slump, and creep. Holy, what was that? Let me rewind real quick. Oh yeah, I forgot I put him in there. I just used Slenderman as a way to remember this type of mass wasting. Let me explain creep briefly, and then you can see the correlation I make to help you remember creep and not just lead you to having nightmares, hopefully. So during creep, the dirt freezes and thaws as the seasons change, and then trees, as you may know, like to grow straight and toward the sun. So as the earth moves downward from the change in temperature, the trees form this odd bend toward the bottom of the trunk. Other signs of creep include tilted poles, misaligned fence, and soil ripples. You've probably seen this in your daily life. Mind you, creep is very slow, traveling only a few millimeters or centimeters in a year. Now back to good old Slendy. The reason I relate him to creep is because he's long, like a tree, and creepy, and lives in the woods, so it just helped me remember since there are so many types of mass wasting. Moving right along, we have the landslide, which, as you might imagine, it is debris sliding down an incline. Next is earth flow, or debris flow, which is slower than landslide and carries clay-rich sediment. Mud flow is going to be largely liquid. It moves pretty quickly and can be quite destructive, actually. I assume most of you are in the building construction program here, so you've probably worked with or at least seen wet concrete in a movie. Mud flow is going to be like the same consistency as that. And if you've never seen wet concrete, I'd suggest going down to your local Home Depot and checking it out for yourself. It's pretty cool stuff. Next we have rock falls. They consist of a mass in vertical free fall, which means straight down, of course. This creates talus blocks, which pile up at the base of the slope. These are talus blocks right here in the picture. Avalanches are turbulent clouds of debris and air. They can be lethal. If you've ever snowboarded or skied, you've probably heard about these or seen YouTube videos. Powder snow can actually reach speeds of up to 250 kilometers per hour. Slump is, as you can probably imagine, similar to someone slumping over. It involves the downward movement of a block material along a curved surface. This top out here in the picture is the rind. The block of sediment stays together and then drops down and then creates a head and a scarp. The scarp being the upslope cliff face and the head being the fallen regolith at the top. Rock topple failures require the forward rotation and movement of a mass of soil and rock out of a slope, and this occurs at a point below the center of gravity. You can think of it being like a domino effect if you've ever lined up dominoes and pushed them over. The real life situation in rocks is basically similar to the small scale representation. Note this, dry soil and rock is relatively stable. If you've ever been to the beach and built a sandcastle, you've also realized that just the right amount of water is good for creating a rigid structure. Although, when too much water is added, it can create problems for your vacation creation. Specific causes of mass movement include mostly human-related activities such as undercutting the base of the slope, adding weight to the upper part of the slope. This is sometimes done when building large structures on the peak of a mountain or a ridge. Another cause would be removing the vegetation, which can have negative effects because of the loss of roots that gave the dirt stability, and the water previously absorbed by the foliage is now oversaturating the soil. This is the main cause of mass wasting you'll see, is saturating the ground with water. This will create the effect of when you dig a hole too deep in the sand near the shore and you reach a point where you can't dig any further because the hole is just collapsing in on itself. On the other hand, an environmental cause could be an earthquake, as this would loosen up the regolith and make it less stable, possibly creating a hazard. Do you know where this picture comes from? This is the San Andreas fault line. This photograph comes from the film San Andreas, starring American actor, producer, and professional wrestler Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Is it just me, or is it odd he keeps showing up? First, his nickname is The Rock. Now he starred in San Andreas, a movie platform strictly about large-scale mass wasting. And he also had a lead role in the, you guessed it, The Game Plan, a movie about Joe Kingman, the quarterback for the Boston Rebels. Excuse me, but what happens in football? People block. What are blocks made of? Exactly. Rock. This all just can't be a coincidence. I hypothesize Dwayne Douglas "The Rock" Johnson is the cause of mass wasting.
Damn, son.
Please excuse my conspiracy theory. I'm still working out the kinks. Anyway, there's a wide variety of ways to mitigate mass wasting hazards because we can stop Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson together. These include removing weight from the slope, adding support to the toe of the slope, which is at the base of the slope, adding metal fencing, which you can see along roadways, and preventing excess water from infiltrating the earth. You can also enhance water drainage from the slope. This can be done through the installation of pipes in the mountain that drain water out from the side of the slope. Other solutions would be avalanche bridges, rock bolts, which transfer the load from the outside, which it can be very unstable, to the interior of the rock, which makes the slope much more stable. Then you have landslide potential maps. These just show where possible landslides could occur. NASA has actually developed a map for the whole world that is updated every 30 minutes through the use of satellites and remotely collected data. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Glad you made it through the whole video. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to have a review slide at the very end, so if you want to take a look at that, you can. You can also check out the textbook if you found yourself uber intrigued by mass wasting. Other than that, that's all I got. Thanks, have a great day, and hope you learned something. If you didn't, real sorry about that.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.